दर्शन देना प्राण प्यारे, दर्शन देना प्राण प्यारे, नंद लाला मेरे नैनों के तारे, नंद लाला मेरे नैनों के तारे, दर्शन देना प्राण प्यारे, दर्शन देना प्राण प्यारे, नंद लाला मेरे नैनों के तारे, नंद लाला मेरे नैनों के तारे, दर्शन देना। दीनानाथ दयालु सकल गुण, दीनानाथ दयालु सकल गुण, नंद किशोर सुंदर मुखवारे, नंद किशोर सुंदर मुखवारे, दर्शन देना प्राण प्यारे, नंद लाला मेरे नैनों के तारे, दर्शन देना। मन मोहन मन क्रोधन रोक्यो, मन मोहन मन क्रोधन रोक्यो, दर्शन की चित चाह हमारे, दर्शन की चित चाह हमारे, दर्शन देना प्राण प्यारे, नंद लाला मेरे नैनों के तारे, दर्शन देना। रसिक कुशाल मिलन की आशा, रसिक कुशाल मिलन की आशा, निस दिन सुमिरन ध्यान लगा रे, निस दिन सुमिरन ध्यान लगा रे, दर्शन देना प्राण प्यारे, नंद लाला मेरे नैनों के तारे, दर्शन देना प्राण प्यारे, नंद लाला मेरे नैनों के तारे, दर्शन देना। राधा कृष्णा कुंज विहारी, राधा कृष्णा कुंज विहारी, मुरलीधर गोवर्धन धारी, मुरलीधर गोवर्धन धारी, राधा कृष्णा कुंज विहारी, राधा कृष्णा कुंज विहारी, शंख चक्र पीतांबर धारी, शंख चक्र पीतांबर धारी, करुणा सागर कृष्ण मुरारी, करुणा सागर कृष्ण मुरारी, राधा कृष्णा कुंज विहारी, राधा कृष्णा कुंज विहारी, कृष्ण मुरारी केशव मुरारी, कृष्ण मुरारी केशव मुरारी, माधव मुरारी मधुसूदन मुरारी, माधव मुरारी मधुसूदन मुरारी, राधा कृष्ण कुंज विहारी, राधा कृष्ण कुंज विहारी, मुरलीधर गोवर्धनधारी, मुरलीधर गोवर्धनधारी, राधा कृष्ण कुंज विहारी, राधा कृष्ण कुंज विहारी। एहि मुरारे एहि मुरारे कुंज बिहारे, एहि प्रणत जन बंधो, हे माधव मधु मथन वरेण्य, केशव करुणा सिंधो, रासनि कुंजे गुंजति नियतम, रासनि कुंजे गुंजति नियतम, भ्रमरशितम किल कांता, एहि निभृत पथपान्था, त्वामिह याचे दर्शन दानम, त्वामिह याचे दर्शन दानम, हे मधुसूदन शांता, एहि मुरारे कुंज बिहारे, एहि प्रणत जनबंधो, नवनीरज धर श्यामल सुंदर, नवनीरज धर श्यामल सुंदर, चंद्र कुसुम रुचि वेशा, गोपी गण हृदयेशा, गोवर्धन धर वृंदावन चर, गोवर्धन धर वृंदावन चर, वंशीधर परमेशा, एहि मुरारे कुंज बिहारे, एहि प्रणत जनबंधो, राधारंजन कंस निषूदन, राधारंजन कंस निषूदन, प्रणते स्तावक चरणे, निखिल निराश्रय शरणे, एहि जनार्दन पीतांबरधर, एहि जनार्दन पीतांबरधर, कुंजे मंथर पवने, एहि मुरारे कुंज बिहारे, एहि प्रणत जनबन्धो केशव करुणा सिन्धु। श्री कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय।
Hari Om. Greetings and salutations on the auspicious occasion of Sri Krishna Janmashtami to all. It may seem that we are meeting again after 2 long months. But if you watched and enjoyed the online programs on Chinmaya channel, you would have noticed that we were busy. Our CMSJ Sevaks were very active in participating programs such as Guru Purnima celebrations. We hosted the 27th Aradhana Yajna online with Swami Swarupananji on KPI. And many of our sevaks also participated in Pujya Gurudev's Mahasamadhi Day, Aradhana Day on August 3rd. During these times, it is understandable that we may be juggling with work, health, household responsibilities, especially when everybody is at home. If we have children, then keeping them engaged while they are home, studying from home, or attending camps from home. These are just some responsibilities to name a few. But occasions such as today, Sri Krishna Prakatya Divas, as Guruji called it in Hamsa Gita, the day of birth or manifestation of Bhagavan Sri Krishna, gives us an opportunity to revel and think exclusively on the Lord. But how do we start thinking about Lord? One may ask. Because Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam, his glories are infinite. Puja Guruji answered this in a very lucid and very simple way. He said that when we give a piece of chocolate to a child, does that child ever ask, from where should I start eating this chocolate? They just dive into it. In the same way, Lord's glories are sweet, no matter from where we start. So without further ado, let us begin today's Madhuram program by melodious rendering of Stotrams by our own CHYKs. You will hear more about them shortly. We will then watch our Shishu Vihar children dressed as Bala Krishna, Bal Gopis, and share with us what do they like, why do they like Lord Krishna, and what must Krishna be doing at this time. They will narrate this in their own sweet words with cute little expressions. Don't miss that. It is said, Bhagavatanam Puranam Bhagavata Puranam. Stories of Bhagavan's Bhaktas are vast and sweeter than the stories of Bhagavan himself. So we will hear stories of Bhagavan's Bhakta from 3 of our own Bala Vihar 6th grade students. We will then immerse ourselves in sweet memories and glories of Bhagavan, while our Swaranjali teachers sing the glories of Bhagavan. You heard 2 of them just when we started, before the start of the program. We will then have satsang with SohamJi to hear how we can invite Bhagavan in our hearts and how we can keep him there. Now, I know during these times, we are not able to step out. We are not able to go to ashram. We are not able to visit a temple to get Bhagavan's darshan, even on a Utsav Divas like today. But please stay all the way to the very end for a very special rendering. As SohamJi will cradle Bhagavan Krishna, as you can see, While Aparna sings Pujya Guruji's very unique composition that is very famous and very dear to all of our hearts. This will be shared with all of you, all of us, in real time live. I now invite Sahana, our chick, to take us through the next part of the program, Stotram rendering by our chicks. Hari Om.
Hari Om. To begin our Janmashtami celebrations, us chicks would like to share our offering of 2 stotrams on Bhagavan Krishna. The first is Achyutashtakam, which was written by Adi Shankaracharya Ji. Here, through calling Bhagavan Krishna by his different names, he describes his beauty and illustrates many of the stories of his glorious victories. He notes of his victory over Kamsa, his peaceful tunes when playing the flute, how he was the savior of Draupadi, and many other stories of him for us to revel in. The next is Madhurashtakam, which was written by Sri Pada Vallabhacharya Ji. In this stotram, the word madhu, meaning sweet or of honey, is repeated frequently throughout the verses. With this, he describes all the different attributes of Bhagavan Krishna, his physical attributes, his lips, his face, his eyes, his smile, and his actions, his words, his dress, his dance, to be of the utmost sweetness so that we may fall in love with him. The last line, Madhuradipater Akhilam Madhuram, says everything about Bhagavan Krishna is so sweet. By listening to these stotrams, chanting these stotrams, we are able to invoke Bhagavan Krishna in our minds and in our hearts and reflect on his form, virtues, and values. And when we think of Bhagavan Krishna in this way, through virtues and stories, his same beauty, divinity, and sweetness starts to shine from within us. With that, we'd like to share our offering of these stotrams with all of you. The first is Achyutashtakam, which is sung by Hemant and Amani, and next will be Madhurashtakam, which is sung by Ashrita, Ashika, and Shashank. Please enjoy.
Achyutam Keshavam Ramanarayanam Krishnadamodaram Vasudevam Harim Sridharam Madhavam Gopika Vallabham Janaki Nayakam Ramachandram Bhaje Achyutam Keshavam Satyabhamadhavam Madhavam Sridharam Radhika Radhitam Indira Mandiram Chetasa Sundaram Devaki Nandanam Nandajam Sandade Vishnave Jishnave Shankine Chakrini Rukmini Radhine Janaki Janaki Vallavi Vallabha Yachita Yatmani Kamsave Kamsine Vamshine Te Namah Krishna Govinda He Ramanarayana Shripate Vasudeva Vajita Shrihide Achyutananda He Madhava Ghokshaja Dwarakanayaka Draupadi Rakshaka Rakshasa Shobhita Sitaya Shobhito Dandakaranyamhu Punyata Karana Lakshmane Nandido Vanare Sevita Agastya Sampodito Raghava Padumam Tenuka Nishtaka Deshiha Keshiha Kamsaret Vamshika Vadaka Putana Gopaka Suraja Kelano Balago Balaka Patumam Sarvada Vidyududyotavat Praspurat Vasasam Pravridam Bodhavat Prolasat Vigraham Vanyaya Malaya Shobhito Rastanam लोहिताङ्घ्रे द्वयं वारिजाक्षं भजे कुञ्चिते कुन्तलैर्भ्राजमानानन रत्नमौलिं लसत् कुण्डलं गन्धयो हारकेयूरकं कङ्कणाप्रोज्वलं किङ्किणी मञ्जुलं श्यामलं तं भजे अच्युत अष्टकं यः पठेदिष्टदं प्रेमतः प्रत्ययं पुरुषसस्पृहं वृत्ततः सुन्दरं कर्तृवेश्वम्भरस् तस्य वश्यो हरिर्जायते सत्वरम् तस्य वश्यो हरिर्जायते सत्वरम्
अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं नयनं मधुरं हसितं मधुरं हृदयं मधुरं गमनं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं वचनं मधुरं चरितं मधुरं वसनं मधुरं गलितं मधुरं चलितं मधुरं भ्रमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं वेणोर्मधुरो रेणोर्मधुरा पाणिर्मधुरा पादौ मधुरा नृत्यं मधुरं सख्यं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं गीतं मधुरं पीतं मधुरं भुक्तं मधुरं सुप्तं मधुरं रूपं मधुरं तिलकं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं करणं मधुरं तरणं मधुरं हरणं मधुरं स्मरणं मधुरं वमितं मधुरं शमितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं कुञ्जा मधुरा माला मधुरा यमुना मधुरा वीची मधुरा सलिलं मधुरं कमलं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं गोपी मधुरा लीला मधुरा युक्तं मधुरं मुक्तं मधुरं दृष्टं मधुरं शिष्टं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरं गोपा मधुरा गावो मधुरा यष्टिर्मधुरा सृष्टिर्मधुरा दलितं मधुरं फलितं मधुरं मधुराधिपतेरखिलं मधुरम्
Welcome everybody to Vrindavan, San Jose. Today is a very special day. We are all gathered here to celebrate Bala Krishna's birthday bash. We have some very special guests, the Gopis and Gopas of Vrindavan, San Jose. Let's see what they have to say about their Kutti Krishna. Govinda. I love Krishna. I love Krishna because he's cute. Yes! Yes, Krishna and my cheeks. Have a peacock. I love Krishna. Krishna is super cute. I love Krishna because he has a peacock feather. I like Krishna. He is blue like the sky, and he's the bluest wing and like the blue scooter and like the ocean. Krishna, I love Krishna. The gopis and gopas loved Krishna's flute. They let his divine music flow through them. I love Krishna because he plays his flute just like me. I love Krishna because he plays flute. He plays a flute. At the celebrations, the gopis and gopas reveled in the adventures they had with Krishna. Didn't Krishna eat his hands, and Mother Yashoda was so worried. He opened his mouth and saw the whole universe. The sun, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Venus, Mercury. He fights with monsters. I love Krishna because he's strong. And he carried the Govardhan on a mountain with his pinky. And then he said good morning to everyone in the morning, and then... At the festivities, along with Krishna, the gopis and gopas had only one thing on their minds. Butter, butter, butter. I love Krishna. I love Krishna because he loves butter, and I love butter too. I like Krishna because he likes butter. And I love Krishna because we both love butter. Eat butter? I love Krishna because he is very naughty and he steals butter and cheese from his mom and he eats num num num, and I steal cheese and butter from my mom and eat num num num. I like Krishna because he likes grapes like me. Each gopi and gopa saw Krishna in themselves. Krishna because it's smart like me. Krishna because he's not like me. I love Krishna and he is my best friend. And he hugs me so much. He's in my heart. As the festivities continued at Vrindavan, everyone had only one thought. Krishna, Krishna. Krishna Rama Govinda. Govinda, Govinda. Hey Nanda Nanda Gopala. Ananda Nanda Gopala. Gopala, Gopala. Devaki Nandana Gopala. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai 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 Krishna Krishna. Anhakanam, Anamo, Anabho Krishna 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 Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Krishna.
Krishna ka naam anmol bolo, Krishna Krishna. Kanha ka naam anmol bolo, Krishna Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
तुम भी बोलो.
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
हम भी बोले.
Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Attach.
Hari Om. Om Shri Chinmaya Satguru Namaha. Who's a saint? A saint is someone who has realized the ultimate truth of absolute reality. One can certainly derive inspiration and encouragement by studying their lives and teachings. It is only through their love and compassion do we come to know about who God is and what is our relationship with Him. Today, on this auspicious day of Sri Krishna Janmashtami, we will be presenting the lives of 3 saints from India. My name is Shreya, and I will be speaking on Saint Narasimha Mehta Ji, followed by Sri Vidya, who will be speaking on Saint Surdas Ji. And then Ananya will highlight the devotion of Saint Meerabhai Ji. Saint Narasimha Mehta Ji's life was filled with Ananya Bhakti for Lord Krishna. Hence, his life was the very definition of a miracle. During the 15th century in India, Saint Narasimha Mehta Ji was born in a poor Brahmin family in Gujarat. He lost his parents at a very young age and was brought up by his grandmother. Later, he lived with his brother. From his childhood, he was a great devotee of Lord Krishna. It was this unwavering devotion that let him be fearless in his life and not worry. Thus began the beautiful journey of a great devotee. In chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita, in verses 6 and 7, the Lord assures that he will protect the seeker with that single pointed devotion. What is that single pointed devotion? It means that the devotee takes refuge in Bhagavan. His love, reverence, and support is in Bhagavan and Bhagavan alone, not in anything of the creation. It is this faith that Saint Narasimha Mehta Ji had in Lord Sri Krishna. It is this immense devotion that blessed him with Bhagavan's darshan. Once, when he was traveling with his brother, they both grew hungry and there was no food in sight. Our Lord Sri Krishna, as we know, never lets his devotees stay hungry. He himself turned into a shepherd boy and lovingly offered them food in a small cottage. While Saint Narasimha Mehta Ji was relishing the prasad, his brother, who lacked the faith, refused the prasad. Saint Narasimha Mehta Ji did try convincing his brother to have the prasad, but he declined. As they continued their journey, they realized that they had left behind a vessel in the cottage. They rushed back to pick it up, and lo and behold, there was no cottage or shepherd, only the vessel. It was then that the realization dawned on Saint Narasimha Mehta Ji's brother of the immense loss, and he repented, not taking the food offered by the Lord himself. Those who follow the path of devotion will ultimately reach the path of knowledge, so says the Gita. In chapter 9, verse 22, Lord Sri Krishna says, "For those with a single pointed mind, there need not be any anxiety to gain, yoga, or worry to guard what they already have, kshema, because these two will be undertaken by the Lord himself." In other words, by following the path of devotion and the path of knowledge, worry to preserve worldly gains can be diminished from life. The devotee rests with the assurance that the Lord himself will take care of the rest. Throughout his life, Saint Narasimha Mehta Ji had firm conviction in the absolute reality, and that it is not different from his essential nature. He never found Bhagavan away from him in his life. Throughout his life, Saint Narasimha Mehta Ji was able to experience the leelas of the Lord and contemplate on them. With Bhagavan's blessings, Saint Narasimha Mehta Ji composed thousands of melodious kirtans during his life. To that end, Saint Narasimha Mehta Ji is considered the Adi Kavi, or primary poet of Gujarat. His compositions are remembered fondly in our hearts till date. His compositions preach oneness with God through devotion, without any discrimination based on caste or gender. One of his most famous compositions is the bhajan, Vaishnava Janato, which was Mahatma Gandhiji's favorite bhajan. The bhajan reflects the path of spirituality. It expresses that when pride enters the mind, we get further away from the Lord, and it is only love and humility that brings us closer to Him. While learning the Bala Bhagavatam this past Bala Vihar year, I learned many stories of Lord Sri Krishna. His beautiful and loving leelas entranced my heart, and I found him closer and closer to me. My love for him kept increasing each week with the narration of the stories and the enactment of the Leelas. I have learned to hold Lord Sri Krishna in my heart and keep him there forever. But my biggest takeaway from both studying Lord Sri Krishna's life and Saint Narasimha Mehta Ji's is if that one has pure devotion and faith in the Lord, everything else will fall into place. The Lord himself will ensure that is done. All in all, in Swami Shivananda Ji's words, Saint Narasimha Mehta Ji has pointed out to the world the true path of devotion. Next, Sri Vidya will speak about Surdas Ji.
Hari Om. I'm Srividya Pamarti from San Jose Bala Vihar, and today I would like to reflect on the life of Saint Surdas Ji. Saints are chosen devotees of Lord who have single-pointed devotion for his lotus feet. They live only for their Lord and think about him 24 hours of the day. Many saints were drawn to Lord Sri Krishna, such as Meerabhai Ji, Purandaradasa Ji, and Pundalik Ji, to name a few. Saint Surdas Ji is one such devotee who, although blind, was blessed by the Lord to have a great love for him. He was one of the great Hindi poets during the Bhakti movement, whose compositions were in a gentle dialect called the Braj Bhasha. Surdas Ji lost his parents when he was very young. There was no one to take care of him. He became a wandering orphan, roaming the banks of River Yamuna. He constantly sang songs with his sweet voice while strumming a single-string instrument called the ektara. His voice melted people's hearts and drew gatherings of devotees. When the Lord decides to take a devotee into his fold, he sends them a guru. When Lord was pleased with Dhruva's sincere prayers, he sent Narad Ji. Surdas Ji received this blessing through Sri Vallabhacharya Ji, the great teacher of Madhurashtakam fame who established Pushti Marg. One day, when Vallabhacharya Ji was traveling by the banks of Yamuna, he heard the soulful voice of Surdas Ji. He rushed to meet the singer, walking through the thorny clearing very quickly. When he saw a blind boy singing with his eyes closed, Vallabhacharya Ji was overcome with emotion, brimming in love. His heart melting and a fatherly affection overpowering him, he hugged the boy. Surdas Ji had also never experienced fatherly love in his life. Vallabhacharya Ji took the boy with him and made him the designated singer for his temple. Surdas Ji enjoyed singing in front of Srinath Ji, but he longed for the darshan of his Lord through the physical eyes like all of us. Between his singing, he would quietly sit under a tree and repeat the name of his Lord. One day, while sitting under the tree, he could hear a conversation between Radha and Krishna nearby. Radha wanted to play Surdas Ji's ektara, but Krishna discouraged her. Meanwhile, Surdas Ji felt the intensity of his Lord's proximity. Radha tried playing the ektara, and Surdas Ji caught hold of her hand firmly. He told Lord Krishna that he will let go of Radha only when the Lord blesses him with his darshan. Lord Krishna told Surdas Ji that receiving a blessing requires many merits. Surdas Ji replied that although he might not have earned any merits on his own, he is endowed with Guru's grace, and that should please the Lord. Lord was moved by Surdas Ji's devotion to his Guru and blessed him with the holy vision of his form, anklets on his feet, adorned with yellow pitambar from the waist down, standing cross-legged, wearing a waistband decked with gems, with a vanamala on his neck, along with the iconic peacock feather headband, flute in his hands, his charming smile, brilliant eyes, and Radha standing by his side. Surdas Ji's hairs stood on end, tears rolled down his cheeks, and he spontaneously sang for his Lord standing in front of him. Lord Krishna wanted to restore his eyesight permanently, but Surdas Ji did not wish to see the world outside with his eyes blessed with Lord's darshan. Instead, he desired that this form of the Lord be permanently installed in his heart. It became a commonplace for little Krishna to come and listen to Surdas Ji every time he sang. This painting is very popular. Once Tansen, the court singer of Akbar, sang one of Surdas Ji's compositions for the king. Moved by the power of devotion in the song, Akbar invited Surdas Ji to sing for him. When Surdas Ji sang a song from Bhagavatam for the king, everyone assembled and witnessed a divine drama unfold in front of their eyes. Mother Saraswati played her veena, Lord Ganesha clapped to the rhythm with his cymbal, and Lord Sri Krishna appeared in all grandeur. When Surdas Ji concluded, the gods faded away. Surdas Ji's compositions evoked devotion in the hearts of his listeners, and her service to humanity lasted for 100 years. In the end, it is said that Lord Krishna appeared in his Garuda and took Surdas Ji back to his abode. On this auspicious day of Krishna Janmashtami, let's pray to Lord Sri Krishna to bless us with love and devotion for him like Surdas Ji. Hari Om. Next, Ananya will speak about Meerabhai Ji.
Hari Om. To begin with, let me offer my pranams to SohamJi and the teachers of Bala Vihar. Today, I'm blessed to talk about Meerabhai. Social media is how we people reach the masses today. And just like this, saints used to reach the masses through music and by writing songs. India is a land of eternal love stories, defying the blows of time. One such timeless story is Meerabhai's love for Lord Krishna. Meerabhai was a saint, poet, and great devotee of Lord Krishna. She was one of the most significant saints of the Bhakti movement. What began as a Bhakti movement in the Tamil region around the 6th century achieved a great deal of popularity through the poems of saints all across the country. Hailing from different caste, age, and gender, these saints created a body of literature emphasizing their Ananya Bhakti towards the Lord. Meerabhai's contribution to the Bhakti movement was primarily in her music. Meerabhai lived in northern India in the 16th century and was born in Kurki. At a very early age, while watching a wedding procession, Meerabhai asked her mother, "Who will be my bridegroom?" Caught by surprise and unsure of what to say, Meera's mother pointed towards an idol of Lord Krishna and said, "My dear Meera, this beautiful idol of Lord Krishna will be your bridegroom." And Meerabhai immediately fell in love with the Lord. She spent most of her time with the idol and worshipped the idol. When both of her parents died, her grandfather took care of her. As she grew older, Meerabhai began to write many bhajans about Lord Krishna. Meerabhai's bhajans are sincere expressions of deep love. They're so sweet as they're filled with genuine outpourings of her heart, completely dedicated to Lord Krishna. Bina prem se nahi mile nandalala. Without love, you cannot reach Lord Krishna. In one of her songs, she sings, "Drink the nectar of the divine name. Leave the bad company, always sit amongst the righteous company. Listen to the name of God. Lust, anger, pride, greed, and attachment. Wash all of these out of your conscience. Meera's Lord is the Govardhana Giridhari, the charming lover. Soak yourself in the dye of his color." Meerabhai had always considered herself as Lord Krishna's wife, so she did not want to get married to anyone else. But after her family insisted, she got married to Bhojaj, the king of Rajasthan. Bhojaj took Meerabhai's devotion well, but you can't say the same about the rest of his family. They did not like the fact that she was treating Lord Krishna as her husband and spending the whole day singing about him. They thought the behavior was inappropriate for a Rajput princess. A few years later, Meerabhai's husband died in battle, but she did not let that stop her from performing her duties to Lord Krishna. Her in-laws expected that Meerabhai would jump into the funeral pyre with her husband and commit sati, but she didn't. She said, "Sati no ho sena giridhar gansham maraman moho ganasamji." Why would I commit sati if my husband, Giridhar Krishna, is still alive? Now, this is where it gets interesting. Meerabhai's in-laws went so far to try to kill her 3 times. First, they tried to poison her, then they locked her in a room full of venomous snakes, then they put her in a cage with a lion. And all these times, it is said that Lord Krishna came to her rescue. Later, she decided to give up all of her possessions and become a sadhvi. Once in Vrindavan, Meerabhai wanted to meet a Vaishnava saint, Jiva Goswami Ji. He refused to meet her because at the time he used to avoid women. But Meerabai told him that Lord Krishna was the only male or Purusha in Vrindavan, and the rest are women, Prakriti. Jiva Goswami Ji conceded to the point and agreed to meet her. Now, skip ahead a few years, and Meerabai decided to spend the rest of her life in Dwarka to be near Lord Krishna. In the temple, while she was singing to Lord Krishna, she just disappeared. All that was left to her was her sari, wrapped around an idol of Lord Krishna. People believe that Meerabai had merged with Lord Krishna because of her immense devotion. Meerabai chose love of God rather than worldly love. She sends a message saying that birth, age, caste, or gender don't matter while showing devotion to God. May we all have the same kind of unconditional and incomparable love for Lord Krishna like Meerabai. Hari Om.
Thank you, Shreya, Srividya, and Ananya for this wonderful presentation on the devotees of Lord Krishna. Now, Swaranjali teachers, Natana, Manisha, and myself will present a few bhajans on Lord Krishna. सर्वात्मक सर्वेश्वर श्यामा, सर्वात्मक सर्वेश्वर श्यामा, नंद यशोदा पालित श्यामा, नंद यशोदा पालित श्यामा, धर्म स्थापन शीलन श्यामा, धर्म स्थापन शीलन श्यामा, यादव कुल संभूषण श्यामा, सर्वात्मक सर्वेश्वर श्यामा, गोपी जन गण पूजित श्यामा, दामोदर गुण मंदिर श्यामा, गोपी जन गण पूजित श्यामा, दामोदर गुण मंदिर श्यामा, श्रीवत्सांकित बालक श्यामा, श्रीवत्सांकित बालक श्यामा, माधव केशव नरहरि श्यामा, माधव केशव नरहरि श्यामा, सर्वात्मक सर्वेश्वर श्यामा, नंद यशोदा पालित श्यामा, धर्म स्थापन शीलन श्यामा, यादव कुल संभूषण श्यामा, सर्वात्मक सर्वेश्वर श्यामा। कन्हैया कन्हैया, कन्हैया आओ, गोपियन संग खेलो, आओ गोपियन संग खेलो, आओ कन्हैया आओ, आओ कन्हैया आओ। यशोदा मैया ढूंढ रही है कहाँ है मेरा लाल, कहाँ है गोपाल। यशोदा मैया ढूंढ रही है कहाँ है मेरा लाल, कहाँ है गोपाल। वृंदावन की गली गली में नाचत नाचत आओ, वृंदावन की गली गली में नाचत नाचत आओ। तुम्हारे दरस के प्यासे हैं हम, आकर दरस दिखाओ। तुम्हारे दरस के प्यासे हैं हम, आकर दरस दिखाओ। आओ कन्हैया आओ, आओ कन्हैया आओ, आओ आओ गोपियन संग खेलो, आओ कन्हैया आओ, आओ कन्हैया आओ।
हरि ओम। ನರ ಜನ್ಮ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾಲಿಗೆ ಇರುವಾಗ ಕೃಷ್ಣಾಯನ ಬಾರದಿ, ಒಮ್ಮೆ ನೀ ಕೃಷ್ಣಾಯನ ಬಾರದಿ. ನರ ಜನ್ಮ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾಲಿಗೆ ಇರುವಾಗಲೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣಾಯನ ಬಾರದಿ, ಒಮ್ಮೆ ನೀ ಕೃಷ್ಣಾಯನ ಬಾರದಿ. ಕೃಷ್ಣಾಯಂದರೆ ಕಷ್ಟವು ಪರಿಹಾರ, ಕೃಷ್ಣಾಯಂದರೆ ಪಾಪವು ಪರಿಹಾರ. ಕೃಷ್ಣ 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 ಕೃಷ್ಣಾಯನ ಬಾರದಿ. ನರ ಜನ್ಮ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾಲಿಗೆ ಇರುವಾಗಲೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣಾಯನ ಬಾರದಿ, ಒಮ್ಮೆ ನೀ ಕೃಷ್ಣಾಯನ ಬಾರದಿ. ಮಲೆಗೆದ್ದು ಮೈ ಮುರಿದು ಏಳುವಾಗಲೊಮ್ಮೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣಾಯನ ಬಾರದೆ. ಮಲೆಗೆದ್ದು ಮೈ ಮುರಿದು ಏಳುವಾಗಲೊಮ್ಮೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣಾಯನ ಬಾರದೆ. ದಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆದಾಗ ಭಾರವನು ಹೊರುವಾಗ, ದಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆದಾಗ ಭಾರವನು ಹೊರುವಾಗ ಕೃಷ್ಣಾಯನ ಬಾರದೆ. ನಿಂತಾಗ ಕುಣಿದಾಗ ಎದ್ದಾಗ ನಡೆದಾಗ ಒಮ್ಮೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣಾಯನ ಬಾರದೆ. ಮಲೆಗೆದ್ದು ಮೈ ಮುರಿದು ಏಳುವಾಗಲೊಮ್ಮೆ ದಾರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆದಾಗ ಭಾರವನ್ನು ಹೊರುವಾಗ ಕಂದನ ಎತ್ತಿ ಮುದ್ದಾಡುವಾಗಲೊಮ್ಮೆ ಕಂದನ ಎತ್ತಿ ಮುದ್ದಾಡುವಾಗಲೊಮ್ಮೆ ಗರುಡ ಗಮನ ಸಿರಿ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲ ಗರುಡ ಗಮನ ಸಿರಿ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನ ಕೂಗಿ ಕರೆಯಬಾರದೆ ಒಮ್ಮೆ ನೀ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎನ್ನಬಾರದೆ ನರ ಜನ್ಮ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾಲಿಗೆ ಇರುವಾಗಲೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎನ್ನಬಾರದೆ ಒಮ್ಮೆ ನೀ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎನ್ನಬಾರದೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎಂದರೆ ಕಷ್ಟವು ಪರಿಹಾರ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎಂದರೆ ಪಾಪವು ಪರಿಹಾರ ಕೃಷ್ಣ 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 ಎನ್ನಬಾರದೆ ನರ ಜನ್ಮ ಬಂದಾಗ ನಾಲಿಗೆ ಇರುವಾಗಲೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎನ್ನಬಾರದೆ ಒಮ್ಮೆ ನೀ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎನ್ನಬಾರದೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎನ್ನಬಾರದೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಎನ್ನಬಾರದೆ
ಹರಿ ಓಂ. ಲವಂಗಲತಾ ಪರಿಶೀಲನ ಕೋಮಲ ಮಲಯ ಸಮೀರೆ ಲಲಿತ ಲವಂಗ ಲತಾ ಪರಿಶೀಲನ ಕೋಮಲ ಮಲಯ ಸಮೀರೆ ಮಧುಕರ ನಿಕರ ಕರಂಬಿತ ಕೋಕಿಲ ಕೂಜಿತ ಕುಂಜ ಕುಟಿ ರೇ ಲಲಿತ ಲವಂಗ ಲತಾ ಪರಿಶೀಲನ ಕೋಮಲ ಮಲಯ ಸಮೀರೆ ವಿಹರತಿ ಹರಿರಿಹ सरस बसन्ते नृत्यति युवति जनेन समं सखी विहरति हरिरिह सरस बसन्ते नृत्यति युवति जनेन समं सखी विरहि जनस्य दुरन्ते विरहि जनस्य दुरन्ते विरहि जनस्य दुरन्ते ललित लवंग लता परिशीलन कोमल मलय समीरे माधविका परिमल ललिते माधविका परिमल ललिते नवमालिक जाति सुगंधो माधविका परिमल ललिते नवमालिक जाति सुगंधो मुनिमनसामपि मोहनकारिणी मुनिमनसामपि मोहनकारिणी तरुणा कारणबन्धो मुनिमनसामपि मोहनकारिणी तरुणा कारणबन्धो तरुणा लतारिशीलन कोमल मलय समीरे स्फुरदति मुक्तलता परिरम्भण स्फुरदति मुक्तलता परिरम्भण मुकुलित पुलकित चूते स्फुरदति मुक्तलता परिरम्भण मुकुलित पुलकित चूते वृंदावन विपिने परिसर परिगत यमुना जलपूते वृंदावन विपिने परिसर परिगत यमुना जलपूते ललित लवंग लता परिशीलन कोमल मलय समीरे कोमल मलय समीरे. Hari Om. Now we conclude the Swaranjali segment of the program, and let us now welcome our Brahmachari SohamJi, and to give us Anugraha Bhashanam on Lord Sri Krishna on this auspicious day. Welcome, SohamJi.
Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Om Shri Krishna Namaha. Hari Om everyone. A very happy Krishna Janmashtami to all of you. I was told that Krishna Janmashtami is one of the biggest programs that we have here. And this year, all of you must be missing that. Nevertheless, we put together this program so that you can get the feel of having a Krishna Janmashtami program even this year, sitting at your home. It is said, Utsava Priyaha Manushya, means we as human beings love festivals. So our rishis, our saints, they understood our mindset very well, and they scheduled one after the another festivals. Krishna Janmashtami is over, Ganesh Chaturthi comes. Ganesh Chaturthi over, Navaratri comes. Like that, several festivals, one after the another. But the beauty of these festivals is, it helps us express ourselves, express our art, whatever things we have, and it makes it centered around Bhagavan. And also, it brings together the community and helps us rejuvenate ourselves. So today we saw so beautiful presentations from all different age groups of our Chinmaya mission. And this is one example of how festivals help us. Today is Krishna Janmashtami, which is the day when Bhagavan Sri Krishna manifested. There are several reasons why we say Bhagavan takes avatara. You must have heard many of them, for doing dharma sthapana, or when there is so much atrocities done by Rakshasas. To put an end to all of them, it is said Bhagavan takes avatara. But the one I like is something which is said by one saint in a bhajan. He says, Bhakta hetu hari rupa banaya. Bhagavan took form so that the love in the heart of devotees can get manifested. Otherwise, where would we express our love towards? When we want a higher altar, it is said Bhagavan is the supreme most altar at whose feet we can offer all our love. And today you saw how, starting from children in Shishu Vihar, all the way until elders, adults, love for Bhagavan Sri Krishna has manifested. It is possible to express our love once we connect to Bhagavan. Now, there are different reasons for avatara. This was one reason I said, right? Another is, if there is one person who is praying intensely, Bhagwan comes for that person, like Dhruva. When there is samashti prayer, okay, many people pray together to Bhagwan, oh Lord, please manifest, then also Bhagwan comes. But there is another avatara called as Adhyatma avatara, which can take place anytime in our heart. All it needs is Vasudev Ji and Devki Ji. Now, who is Vasudev Ji? Vasudev Ji is a pure mind and Devki Ji is a pure intellect. When through devotion and other sadhanas, we purify our mind, and when we become, our mind becomes like Vasudev Ji and intellect becomes like Devki Ji, it is said Bhagwan manifests there. That is called Adhyatma Avatara. So now, what we will do today in the few minutes that we have, let us see what happened when Bhagavan Krishna was born. All of you know the story, so I won't repeat the whole story again. It all goes back to Kamsa, who was waiting for Bhagavan Krishna to be born so that he can kill Bhagavan. And now Brahmaji goes to Vishnu Bhagavan and does stuti, a prayer to Vishnu Bhagavan, saying that, oh Lord, now it is time you should take birth and put an end to Kamsa so that he can stop troubling Mother Devaki. So we will see some selected shlokas from Bhagavatam, and then we will see, how much time we have, and we'll go further with that. So this is Brahmaji Stuti. Only one shloka I will read. Satyavratam satyaparam trisatyam satyasya yonim nihitam cha satye satyasya satyamruta satyanetram satyatmakam tvam sharanam prapannaha. So Brahmaji does pranams and he says, Bhagwan, you are satyavratam, means you are satya sankalpa. Whatever you determine, whatever sankalpa you entertain in your mind, that is for sure to be done. That is why our prayer to Bhagwan is, Bhagwan, may your sankalpa come to my mind. Because if it is your sankalpa, it will definitely take place. I don't have my 2 cents in it, my own, anything for myself in that sankalpa. So Bhagwan is Satyavratam. And he says Satyaparam. Satyaparam means if I have truthfulness in my day-to-day life, that truthfulness will lead me to absolute truth. Okay, this is what is meant by Satyaparam. If I have truthfulness in all my vyavahara, all my transactions, if there is straightforwardness, Brahmaji says that is the best sadhana to reach the absolute truth. And then he says is Trisatyam. Trisatyam means Bhagwan is the substratum or the absolute truth of all 3 phases of creation. Srishti means when something is born, Sthiti when something is maintained, and Pralaya also. All in all, Brahmaji says, Bhagwan, whatever we are seeing here, we say this is creation, this is Maya. But what is the real substratum of it, real Satyam, that is you alone. So now please, through your own creation, you manifest in one form and help us, come out of this suffering from Kamsa. So now what happens is, let us shift the camera now to the place where Bhagwan is to be born. Remember what I said in the beginning, if Bhagwan has to manifest, our heart should become pure. In the same way, just as Antakarana Shuddhi is required, when Bhagwan manifests outside, nature responds by being pure. By being pure meaning each aspect of nature is as though delighted that I was waiting for this moment when Bhagavan Sri Krishna will come. Okay, so let us see the shlokas in that portion now. We are moving ahead after this prayer of Brahmaji, Bhagwan. Before he comes, what is the scene there now? Devaki ji, Vasudev ji, everybody is there. And this is how the scene is. Atha sarva gunopetah kalaf paramashobhanah yarheva jana janmarksham shantarkshagrahatarakam dishaf prasedur gaganam nirmalodu ganodayam mahi mangala bhuyishtha puragrama vrajakara. There are several shlokas. I'm tempted to read more, but I will explain all, but I will just read 2 shlokas. The first person to be very happy is Kala. Kala means time. And every time we hear Bhagwan is beyond time, Bhagwan is beyond time, Kala Tita. So this Kala always feels, when will I get darshan of Bhagwan now? Everyone keeps saying Bhagwan is beyond time. So Bhagwan now tells to Kala, I will come under your sway now. I will have a date, I will have a time. That is why we say today is Janmashtami. Ashtami Tithi, he was born. Okay, so Kala is happy, time is happy. It says Bhagwan will be born in me now. That is the purity of time, okay, auspiciousness of time. By the way, all this is for Dhyanam. You can just meditate on creation in this way. When Bhagwan was born, the way this creation would have welcomed Bhagwan. That is the whole purpose of this description. Then the person to be happy is Akasha, the space. Space says, I have very similar qualities to Bhagwan. Our Akasha means Avakasham Dadati. One who accommodates everybody is called Akasha. Bhagwan also accommodates everyone. So Akasha is happy that Bhagwan is going to come in me right now. And then Akasha means space is vast, infinite. You cannot fathom where space ends. In the same way, Bhagwan's leelas, Bhagwan's glories, they are also infinite. But Akasha says, all this we know, there is one more thing which got added to my, the feather in the cap today. And what was that? It says, I am blue, Bhagwan Krishna is also blue. Okay, so my adjective will be given to Bhagwan Krishna now. So that is why space is also happy. Okay, Akasha is happy. Then there are Dishaha, means directions. Directions in Sanskrit also means Asha. Means all sadhu mahatmas, everybody, they feel happy that Bhagwan is going to come now. Now there is hope of our own sadhana again reviving, and again we able to continue our path of spirituality. Then the person to be happy is Mother Earth. Mahi Mangalam Bhuyishtha. Now Mother Earth says in Bhagwan's previous avatara, which was the previous avatara? Ram avatara. In Ram avatara, Sita ji was Bhumija, means she was the daughter of Earth, Mother Earth. So Bhagwan became son-in-law. Okay. So the relationship with Bhagwan was not direct. It was through somebody. So that is why Mother Earth says, now I can directly have Bhagwan's feet on me and direct sambandha with Bhagwan. So that is why Mother Earth is also very happy. Prithvi Mata is very happy. And then there are several other things that happen. All the river waters become pure, as to they're also welcoming Bhagwan. And all the trees and everyone, all the plants and everything, they are filled with colorful flowers, colorful fruits, everything. Because remember, just as Antakarna becomes Shuddha, or Antakarna has to become Shuddha to Bhagwan to manifest, it is this creation now which is showing this purity. The wind also starts blowing, very smooth, calming, soothing, fragrant wind. It says in the Rama Avatara, my son Hanumanji, Pavana Sutta, he served Bhagwan Ramchandra ji. Now let me serve Bhagwan Krishna. And the last one, which is my favorite, okay, it says, Mandam Mandam Jaladhara Jagarjur Nusagaram. These clouds, they come close to this ocean and they start showering. Mandam mandam means very softly, as though they are having a conversation with this ocean. Bhagavan Vishnu, lives in the ocean, Kshira Sagara. That cloud is telling this ocean, by being in your company, sweet water has come to me now. Okay. Now you also do something so that Bhagavan also starts staying in me. Just like Bhagavan stays in the ocean, this cloud is telling the ocean, you do something so that Bhagavan comes and stays in me. So then ocean says, I have given you sufficient water now. You go and serve Bhagavan. Okay, Bhagavan will go around in Vrindavan, Gokul, so many places. You go and protect Bhagavan meaning give your shadow to Bhagavan, and you serve him in that way. And this is the spirit of karma yoga. Okay, so this ocean gives this advice to this Megha: keep serving, and then Bhagavan will reside in your heart. So with this Upadesha and nature which is all ready to welcome Bhagavan, Bhagavan takes avatar. Boliye Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. So this one last shloka we will see. Tamadbhutam balakam ambujekshanam chaturbhujam shanka gadaryudayudam Shrivatsalakshmam galashobhikaustubham Pitambaram Sandra Payoda Saubhagam. So now that time for which everybody has been waiting for has come, and Bhagavan takes avatara, and with Devaki ji and Vasudev ji by his side. And Bhagavan doesn't appear like a small baby, he appears with his Chaturbhuja Rupa, avatara of Bhagavan Vishnu, and his beautiful eyes, which are like the lotuses, which are bloomed, and Kaustuba Mani on his neck, and Shrivatsa Chinha, it's an symbol which is embodied on Bhagavan's chest. And he is, of course, draped in Pitambara Vastra. That is Bhagavan's form. And Bhagavan Jagdishwara also is in Pitambara today. Bhagavan Krishna also, you will see, is in Pitambara here also. So Bhagavan manifests, and Vasudevji realizes this is Bhagavan who has come in my house right now. And samskaras of Vasudevji and Devkiji were Advaita samskaras, Vedanta samskara. So the shlokas that follow is when they tell Bhagavan that, oh Lord, we know your glory. But now it is mother's heart. Devkiji, after doing her prayer, she says, Bhagavan, now please take your Shishu avatara and please make us go back to our motherly love and fatherly love, so that you can continue this avatara, and whatever things you have to accomplish in this avatara, that you can fulfill. Okay, so with that, Devaki ji also does stuti and she prays to Bhagavan. So now you know the next story, that Bhagavan goes to Gokul, where Nanda Babaji is there. We will just do one small Nama Sankirtanam, and then we will have some announcements. And then meanwhile, I will do the Aarti on behalf of everyone, and also do the Jhula, so you can do it on your screen, okay, wherever you are. This is composed by Guruji. It says, Krishna Darshana Kore Chalo. Krishna Darshana Kore Chalo. Krishna Darshana Kore Chalo. Gokul mein Anand bhayo. Gokul mein Anand bhayo. Krishna Darshana Kore Chalo. Krishna Darshana Kore Chalo. Jai Jaikar Krishna ki karo. Jai Jaikar Krishna ki karo. Jai Jaikar Krishna ki karo. Janma apna safal karo. Janma apna safal karo. Krishna Darshana Kore Chalo. Krishna Darshana Kore Chalo. नंदघरा नंद भयो नंदघरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की नंदघरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की हाथी घोड़ा पाल की जय कन्हैया लाल की हाथी घोड़ा पाल की जय कन्हैया लाल की नंदघरा नंद भयो जय कन्हैया लाल की बोलिए कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय Hari Om. Now we will have some announcements and then we'll do the Aarti. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Our sincere gratitude to SohamJi and heartfelt thanks to the Shishu Vihar children, their parents, and the teacher Shishu Vihar Sevaks who worked on a very short notice to prepare that video. If we were not social distancing and if these kids were not on a video, all of us would have rushed to just lift these little ones. They were so cute. And a big thank you to the 3 students and their teachers who prepared with them to share such a remarkable stories of devotees that bring tears when we hear. And many of the things that the teachers must have taught these children. Salutations to those teachers as well. We pray that Lord Krishna manifests, as SohamJi explained, in our hearts as love and joy. Just few upcoming announcements. We are going to start this new Bala Vihar academic year, the adult session year, with a big bang. We have a lot of events coming up. So I'll just quickly go through each one of them. As you know, traditionally we celebrate, we conduct prior to Ganesh Chaturthi, we conduct a Ganapati Murti making workshop live. It is conducted by our own Shanti Tipparam. Now, in this scenario, we cannot conduct a live workshop. So she has agreed to do this workshop online on Zoom. This will be on Sunday, August 16th, that is this coming Sunday. An email was sent out and it has instruction. If you have clay, you can use the clay, but you can prepare dough using flour in your house, and specific instructions were given. You need to keep that dough ready 24 hours before the workshop on Sunday. So please check that out. This workshop is open to all, and invite everyone who would be interested. Invite all your friends, their children, to be part of this beautiful workshop. We will observe Ganesha Chaturthi on Saturday, August 22nd. If you like this program, we are in for another treat on August 22nd for Ganesh Chaturthi program. It starts at 6 o'clock. One more detail for Ganesh Chaturthi this year. So SohamJi has given us or taken with us this Samashti Sankalpa that we chant Ganapati Atharva Shirsham 1008 times. So what we will do in the next email that comes out, as a family, you select, you do a Vyasti Sankalpa for your family, how many number of times you would like to chant this beautiful Upanishad, and just write that so that we can track, are we reaching our goals of 1008 or not. It will have a link to chanting that SohamJi will do for us to guide, and you can chant along. It will have PDF document in Devanagari script as well as English. So that needs to start on August 22nd and end before Ananta Chaturdashi, which is when we do Ganapati Bhagavan's Visarjan. That is on August 31st, I believe. So please stay tuned for that email and instruction as well. Next we have is, before we start our Bala Vihar year, we will start our yajnas and lecture series with a small retreat during Labor Day. So Labor Day starts actually the Friday of September 4th. The retreat starts on Friday, September 4th. the schedule has been adjusted so that all the sessions end every day before 11 a.m., before most of our children wake up in the morning, so that you are available to spend time with your family and with your loved ones. So the curriculum, the registration and the schedule is available. The topic SohamJi will cover is one of the Bindu Upanishads. It's called Amrita Bindu Upanishad. Very short but very beautiful text. And Guruji has written very nice flowing commentary. During this retreat, we will have meditation, guided meditation by SohamJi. We will have chanting session. We will have discussion groups for 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. And on Monday, we will have a question answer session for any questions that may arise, either in discussion group or during the lecture. You will have an opportunity to get answers to those questions. For this, the registration has already started. It is on our website. However, we will close the registration on September 2nd because we want this retreat to be a two-way video conference. So SohamJi will be able to see all of us participants, just like in a classroom setting. And that's why we need to know who is attending. So please make sure and don't wait till the very end to register. The link will give you the details about how to get the book, the text for the yajna. We will have limited physical copies available on first come first serve basis. Next, as you know, you must have received email that our academic Bala Vihar year, Shishu Vihar, Bala Vihar and Yuva Kendra will be completely online during the next year. So this, yes, it is a little disappointment that we will not be able to see each other. But look at the positive side. There are so many families we know who come to Bay Area or who have moved within Bay Area to locations where we do not have our Bala Vihar programs. Mountain House, Tracy. There are people, dedicated people who still drive and attend this. But there is a new population of Indian population who may be interested in our programs that we are not able to reach out. So the program schedule has been adjusted to give flexibility on Saturday as well as Sunday. So please check out and please register as soon as possible and don't wait so that we can make any adjustment if we need to make. Very soon we will also publish SohamJi's lecture schedule in about a week or so. So stay tuned for that. And now as all of us were waiting to see Bhagavan's being cradled by SohamJi, and we will sing Aarti for Bhagavan and we will put Bhagavan to bed today. So Hari Om.
गोपाल गोकुल वल्लभी प्रिय गोप गोसुत वल्लभं चरणारविन्दमहं भजे भजनीय सुरमुनि दुर्लभं घनश्याम काम अनेक छवि लोकाभिराम मनोहरम किंजल कवसन किशोर मूरति भूरि गुण करुणाकरम गोपाल गोकुल वल्लभी प्रिय सिर के की पच्च बिलोल कुंडल अरुण जल रुह लोचनम गुंजावतम सविचित्र सब अंग धातु भव भय मोचनम गोपाल गोकुल वल्लभी प्रिय कच कुटिल सुंदर तिलक भ्रो राकामयंक समाननम अपहरण तुलसी दास त्रास विहार वृंदा काननम गोपाल गोकुल वल्लभी प्रिय। श्री कृष्णचंद्र भगवान की जय।
हल रावे फुलराई मल्हावे, हल रावे फुलराई मल्हावे। जोई सोई कछु गावे, जसोदा हरि पालनी झुलावे। हल रावे दुलराई मल्हावे। मेरे लाल को निदरिया काहे नारी सुनावे। तू काहे न बेगी सुहावे, तो को कान्हा बुलावे। हर रावे दुलराई मल्हावे। कबहु पलक हरि मूंद लेत है, कबहु अधर पर कावे। सोवत जानी मौन हो रही रही, करी करी सैन बतावे। हर रावे दुलराई मल्हावे। यही अंतर अखोलाई उठे हरि, जसुमति मधुरे गावे। जो सुख सूर अमर मुनि दुर्लभ, सोनंद भामिनी पावे। हल रावे दुलराई मल्हावे। जोई सोई कछु गावे, जसोदा हरि पालनी झुलावे। हल रावे दुलराई मल्हावे।
Hari Om.